My name is Derek and I do YouTube videos about audio equipment. If you guys enjoy that type of stuff, you might enjoy subscribing to my channel and I'd appreciate it. Alright guys, today we're going to take a look at a Phoenix Gold MPS-2500 classic cheater amp from the 1990s. You guys, make sure you check out my video description. I have a link to a playlist with all the 90s Phoenix Gold amps that I've tested, videos that I've done. This one, we'll take a closer look in the 1993 Car Audio and Electronics directory, and we'll see a full listing here of Phoenix Gold amplifiers. The MPS-2500 and the 2125 are right in the center. Here you can see it's rated 50 by 2 at 4 ohms, whereas the 2125 was 125 by 2. And the MSRP was $899 US, whereas the 2125 was $100 less. Now, the 2019 equivalent of $899 back then is $1,530. Whew. Here are the specs, including the ratings at 4 ohms, 85 watts per channel, 2 ohms, 155 per channel, and then bridge 290, and then 505 at 2 ohms. Here's the exterior of the amp. You can see all the connections are on one side. You have the RCA inputs, a stereo bridge switch, left-right clip, bass adjustment, gain control. Then we have tiny 4-gauge inputs for power and ground, and an even smaller remote jack. There's a master and slave connection, so you could hook multiple these up together. Overload, thermal, and on light, and then the speaker outputs. Those are tiny as well, about 12 gauge. The dimensions are about 23 inches by 11 and 3/8 inches. It's pretty big. For a standard amp today, that's about a 5K amp or so in size. The height is about 2 3/8 inches, or about 60 millimeters. Alright, so here we have the amp all wired up. We'll turn it on so you can see the power light come on. Let's get it connected up to the Amp Dyno. Let's try some power output tests. Now, note all the tests we're going to do are mono, so we'll give you the equivalent stereo ratings when we do it. 8 ohms were rated 100 watts at 13.8 volts. First up, we're going to try the certified run, which takes us up to 1% THD. 142 watts at 14.4, so easily got the 100 watts rated power. We pulled about 28.8 amps of current. Uncertified test takes us up to clipping. Should get a little bit more power here than we did before. 145 watts, 14.39 volts. And the current measurement's about 31 amps. Dynamic burst here, this kind of simulates a subwoofer, like a pulse tone going into the amp. Should give us a little bit more power, and it does. 152 watts at 14.4. Oh, we got a little more. 153 at 14.38. Now we have the amp set in the 4 ohm mono load. It's rated 290 watts. We're not sure what voltage because it doesn't really say in the manual. We're going to assume somewhere between 13.8 and 14.4 though. And we got 265 certified at 14.38, so a little bit shy there. 51.7 amps of current draw. Uncertified test takes us up to clipping. Still didn't quite get the rated power. You can see 277 watts at 14.42 volts. Current pulls 60.6 amps of current. Now we'll run the dynamic test again, simulating, in this case, the 1 kilohertz track, which is the IHF 202 test. 280 watts, 14.42. So not quite the 290 that it promises. Alright, now we'll try the 2 ohm mono test, which is rated 505 watts. Again, doesn't specify voltage. Certified test takes us up to 1% THD. And we're a little shy, 448 at 14.18. So around 50 watts or so shy of the rated power. Pulled 90.7 amps of current. Uncertified, again, takes us up to clipping point on the amplifier. Getting close to the 505, still not quite there. 486 at 2 ohms, 14.24. Pulled 110.8 amps of current. Now we'll do the dynamic test. And this time we were doing it at 1 kilohertz again. We're simulating the IHF 202 test. And we didn't quite get to 500 watts. Pretty close. 497 at 14.28 volts. Alright, so I showed you all the runs this time. I usually only show a few of them. In this case, I showed you pretty much all the runs I tested down to 2 ohms mono. You can pause this if you want to see the difference between the 1 kilohertz and 40 hertz. Actually, in some cases, the 40 hertz test, it got more power than it did the 1 kilohertz. So that's kind of unusual, but interesting to say the least. Now, what's inside of this beautiful amplifier? Before we show that, make sure you check out 12 Volt Talk on youtube.com/12vtalk. Me and Hi-Fi Vega do a weekly live stream. We're also available as a podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and more. These amps are known for their gorgeous interiors here with the 24 karat gold plated circuit boards, the brass gold plated bus bars, as well as just the color coding there between the transformers and all the capacitors inside. Just looks really slick, and even has 8 gauge OFC wiring there for the speakers. So I didn't really do a good subwoofer demo, but I did just a short one here for you just to get a feeling of how the amp played. Now I must say overall I was a little bummed. Thought this amp would actually do more than rated power, especially at 2 ohms. I know you people are going to say, what about 1 ohm? You know, what about half an ohm? All that stuff. Stick around for until the end of the video. I'm going to show some additional tests then, which if you guys don't know when you watch my videos, if you don't stay until the very end, you miss some things. I always show extras at the end, kind of like Marvel Comics. Got to give people the extras. But yeah, this amp is just gorgeous inside. You know, it needs to be shown off. You need to have a plexiglass panel on the bottom so you can show your friends what a real amp looks like, even if it don't perform.
You big dummy.
Anyway, thanks as always for watching, commenting, smashing that like button. Share it with your friends, your grandma, your neighbor, everybody you know. Let Big D hit 100K. Special thanks, Jay, Matthew, Marcus, Jesus Tire, Soundstream Registry. I'm out of here! Alright, Phoenix Gold old school cheater amp, the MPS-2500, about the size of an 8 or 10K amp today. And we're going to try it 1 ohm mono. This is a stereo amp, so this is half an ohm per channel. We're going to try it dynamic, 1 kilohertz, which really this test doesn't mean a lot, but it's going to be fun to see how much power we can get out of it. So let's see how much it does. Alright, looks like it went into protect right at 700 watts at 14.3. Protect light is not on. We're still green, but she definitely didn't like that. So we're not going to do any lower test. 1 ohm mono, 14.3, 699 watts, dynamic. Make sure to check out some of my other videos on my channel. I have over 500 videos here on YouTube, most of them car audio related. Some home audio, some pro audio, some big dummy related. But anyway, just check them out if you get a chance. Thanks for watching.